Hello everyone, I'm Brian Croy Dragon and welcome to another Truth or Scare commentary. America's Haunted Houses, on the computer, on the MacBook front, got it back. Had to pay $152 for... They had no problems with it, I'm having problems with it, I called them. They tell me to check my Wi-Fi provider. I'm not happy. Not happy at all. Anyway, let's get started.
This.
Knock, knock. Who's there? After dark? In houses all across the United States. Things that go bump in the night can strike fear into even the bravest soul. Make yourself at home with Truth or Scare as we move into some of America's most haunted houses. They say there's no place like home. Could that explain why some people never leave? The United States has only been around for a little over 200 years, but that's been more than enough time for the ghosts of the dead to haunt lots of American homes. At least, that's what the people who live there say. Are these claims to be believed? That's up to you to decide. How and why does a house become haunted? These questions have been asked, but never really answered. John Goldsby claims he can see and communicate with the dead. He says a haunted house is home to spirits that cannot let go of life.
People that the desire is so great within them that they have
Doesn't
to
look like
keep
it was
coming
cut off.
back to where they existed,
Or maybe it was.
some great emotional
Croft,
pullback,
whatever.
and they cannot totally accept the
Again,
fact
I
that they've
wonder
left the
what
physical body.
documentary
The
was
only place it
reformatted.
said they won't leave is here. The Winchester House in San Jose, California. Believe it or not, this house was built with ghosts in mind. But there was one rule. Uninvited ghosts were not welcome. Twisting hallways, a maze of staircases, and doors to nowhere were designed to confuse evil spirits. Even though no one lives here anymore, Winchester House is open to tourists, if they've got the guts to go in. Because in this house, they say glimpses of the dead are still a way of life. Shara Smith works at Winchester House. The first time she was alone here, she wandered into one of the closed-off rooms.
And I let the door close behind me, and it felt the air pressure got really heavy in there, and it felt like the walls were getting closer. I mean, I had to get out of that room really quickly.
Other people claim to have seen lights on in that very same room, but it is not wired for electricity. Unexplained footsteps, creaking boards, and whispering only add to the aura of the mystery of the Winchester House. Sarah Winchester was heir to the Winchester firearms fortune. She built the house for protection.
William Winchester.
William. A spiritual medium in Boston had told Sarah that the deaths of her husband and only child were caused by evil spirits that had been killed by Winchester rifles. The seer's advice? Go west. So Sarah moved to California, where she decided to turn a simple farmhouse into a mansion for the spirit world. She had been told that here, she would be safe from those vengeful spirits, but only if she kept building.
Guess I might as well make myself
So
comfortable.
for 38 years, 24 hours a day, construction continued. Today, the house sprawls over 6 acres of landscaped grounds. It has 160 rooms, 47 fireplaces, 13 bathrooms, 52 skylights, and nearly 10,000 windows. Only Sarah's death in 1922 brought the building to a halt. In the end, she had spent nearly $5.5 million to build her safe house. That's the same as around $53 million today. Sarah firmly believed that the house had kept her safe from harm. Could that explain why some say she still walks the halls of Winchester House?
I don't know, maybe.
The most mysterious room in the house is the Blue Room. That's where Sarah conducted her private seances. No one ever set foot in the room while Sarah was alive. Some believe it's still a doorway for visitors from another dimension. Like Jack and John Stubert, they work at the house today. If their claims are true, at least one Winchester employee from the past is still on staff.
And I turned around and looked down the hallway, and I seen a man standing. And then he disappeared. We went down to see if somebody was in the house, and there was nobody there. I never believed in spirits or ghosts or anything, so, but I do have a belief now that there is something in this house.
Something or someone. We may never know. In New Orleans, are hotel guests sharing their rooms with the dead? Next on Truth or Scare.
The Gaggle will be back on Discoveries.
Sarah Winchester built her house specifically for ghosts. Today, tourists go there practically expecting an encounter with the unexplained. But in one historic American city, visitors experience the spirit world the old-fashioned way, unexpectedly. At the southern end of the Mississippi River, you'll find New Orleans, Louisiana, one of the truly unique places in the world. A place where time seems to stand still, where the past mixes with the present, and according to some, the living with the dead. In the city's French Quarter, a jazz club called Maxwell's is said to be haunted by its violent past. Some say entering the club might just bring you face to face with a very deceased doorman, a casualty from the bad old days of mafia rule.
Good evening. Welcome to
It was late at night and I was cleaning up and everything, and something caught my eye, and I look up here to the balcony, and for about 2 seconds there was this guy standing there. Looked Italian, his hair slicked straight back, what looked like kind of like a tuxedo or some kind of evening wear on, and he was just looking at me and like smiling, and then he was gone.
In another part of town is the Southern Nights Bed and Breakfast. Here, they haven't seen any ghosts, but they're convinced they've got some uninvited guests.
There were such strange things that went on when I first bought the house. I would hear sounds and whispers and voices. My housekeeper, my son, would come to me and say, "Did you call me?" And I hadn't.
When we first moved in here, that's when I first started to notice the first strange occurrences. A few times when I walked in different rooms, a hair would stand up on the back of my neck as if someone was in the room with me when a light would turn on. Alarm clocks that would set off when I had made sure that all the alarm clocks were disconnected. Doors locked themselves.
All these strange occurrences convinced Judy to call Hauntings Today, a paranormal investigation company run by parapsychologist Larry Montz.
We conduct scientific investigations of phenomena and try to determine, using scientific methods, what's going on.
Larry sent one of his staff to check out Judy's house.
And I said, why don't you go around and look at everything, check out all the rooms. So when she came back, she said, do you know you have an entity in the house?
Paranormal investigations are not widely accepted, but Larry Montz thinks his organization is different.
Our particular organization is a little unique in the fact that we use a combination of scientists as well as psychic investigators. We have conducted numerous investigations in haunted hotels, just like the Bourbon Orleans Hotel here in the French Quarter in New Orleans.
This building was once home to St. Mary's Academy, St. John's Orphanage, and the world-famous Orleans Ballroom.
Never
Hauntings
heard of
Today
it.
will
How
be
is it
assessing
world
what they believe
famous?
are signs of paranormal activity.
There have been people walking by this particular guest room suite and have heard a little girl crying. Hotel managers proceed to go up there, knock on the door, no answer. Walk in, no one's there.
Actually, I've even
Okay,
had guests come
I
to
actually
my
thought of the
house
witch from
and
Left
tell
4
me
Dead.
that, in the middle of the night, they were woken and heard the water running and got up and actually saw the water running, turned it off, got back in the bed, and have it happen 2 and 3 times during the night.
The investigation started in the lobby. Once the team entered, it was only a matter of seconds before the psychic said she felt a strange energy.
Shannon, you getting anything?
I get energies, impression up here, and mostly coming from upstairs.
Okay, go ahead.
The energy pulls them out of the lobby and up to the hotel's grand ballroom. According to Larry, the room is full of strange electromagnetic energy readings and cold spots, which he says are very common in a haunted house.
And we also experienced some poltergeist activity with one of the chandeliers that actually started to move. Yeah, do you feel that? Let's get a temperature reading.
But the most chilling image the investigators say they saw was eerily similar to one reported by a hotel maid.
Okay, get shots of that.
They give you a list of vacant and rooms that you need to turn down. When you close the curtains at night, you look across the courtyard, and I saw a nun sitting in a window in a vacant room crying.
At first, we had gotten kind of an impression, or a psychic impression, of a
It's
person
the
standing
original
all the way
nun.
at the end of the hallway. And as we approached it,
I've
this
never even
nun
seen that
appeared,
movie.
and she turned quickly and moved through one of the doors of the room.
I'm sure
And
she's
as we
quite a
entered the
pleasant
room,
fellow.
she disappeared.
Woman? Maybe. Can never tell with ghosts.
200 years after his death, does Abraham Lincoln still live at the White House? Next on Truth or Scare. New Orleans may be wilder, but the city of Washington, D.C. is just as fascinating. As the seat of power for the United States government, everywhere you go, the nation's history surrounds you. And some say the ghosts of historical figures might also be surrounding you. Claims of hauntings in Washington draw plenty of attention. Historian Stephen Lee Carson knows why.
One of the reasons Washington is so fascinating as a haunted city is not only because of all the power that's been involved, past and present, and all the forces, if you will, but also the people who have verified these sightings.
Congressmen, senators, even presidents and first ladies have claimed they've seen ghosts. When Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands was visiting President Franklin Roosevelt, she stayed in the Lincoln bedroom. Late at night, there was knocking at the door. The door opened, and there, she said, was Abraham Lincoln. Just down the street from the White House, you'll find the Octagon House, which was built back in the 1700s. It's a National Historic Landmark now. And according to Errol Platzer, the director of the house, there have been so many bizarre occurrences and unexplained phenomena here, there's only one way to keep track of them.
We have a ghost file, as we call it, and we keep all the documentation that we can find
A
on
ghost
any ghost
file.
stories that have been told.
Okay,
During the
then.
War of 1812, the Octagon was used as a temporary White House. Today, some visitors have reported seeing images
having
of
burned
First
down
Lady Dolly Madison. Some even
having
claim
that
to have smelled her famous
original
lilac
one
perfume.
burned down would have been needed.
Others say they've heard strange ghostly sounds coming from inside a wall. And many claim they have witnessed the sudden, unexplained swinging of the chandelier over the staircase. Not far away at the United States Capitol building, people say that the most haunted room here is Statuary Hall. It was once the chamber of the House of Representatives, and visitors have sworn they heard John Quincy Adams in the middle of a passionate debate. Some former security guards make a more shocking claim that late one night, the statues came to life and started dancing around the room. These stories are definitely scary. But could they actually be true?
I don't know,
At the Center
maybe.
for Inquiry, ghost stories are just that, stories. As skeptics, they're in the business of looking for impartial scientific explanations of paranormal claims. Joe Nickel is one of the center's investigators. It's his job to travel the country to check out places that are said to be haunted.
Obviously, we can't parachute into Peoria every time Mrs. Smith thinks she has a ghost.
Oh wait, I think
Every time
it is
someone
clogged
sees
a bit.
a flying saucer somewhere. But we do try to hit the bigger cases, and we do investigate paranormal claims.
Joe Nickel investigates the appearance of a little girl at a hotel with a dark history. Is this mystery all in the mind?
Hotel.
Next on Truth or Scare.
A real life The Shining?
The Gag on Discovery Kids.
Let's see.
When people claim that a house is haunted, the stories are always
Yeah,
fascinating.
that's putting a crick in my
What
neck.
if they're more than just stories? Investigators of haunted houses use many methods to explain the inexplicable, and sometimes they find very different answers.
Oh, this is uncomfortable. This is very, very uncomfortable.
That's exactly what happened here at Brookdale Lodge. Just south of San Francisco, Brookdale was once the place to be seen if you were rich and famous. Movie stars and other celebrities came here all the time, dining and dancing the night away in the Brook Room. But the lodge has also been the scene of tragedy. A fire, flood, and a young girl's drowning will never be forgotten. Maybe that's why hotel employees like Jennifer Soto and Elan Gilboa are convinced Brookdale is haunted.
Oh, my ribs.
Elon and I were cleaning up, getting ready to go, and
I've got
I
bony
heard some
elbows.
faint music, and I stopped and I said, "Elon, do you hear that?" And he said, "Yeah, I do."
It was a mixture of people talking in the background and music, old-time music.
Jennifer and Elan figured that some people had probably broken in for a little late-night party.
So we got the keys and we were going to go in there and kick everybody out. And we opened up the doors and everything just ceased. Nothing.
The room was totally empty.
It was scary a little bit.
There were other incidents just as startling. Another haunting had been reported. Guests and employees claimed they'd seen a mother and her young daughter in the Brook Room. Are they grim reminders of an unknown earlier tragedy? Joe Nickel, the investigator from the Center for Inquiry, has been called in by the owners of Brookdale to try and find an explanation.
I think the first thing that one tries to do with a haunted house is to gather data and see whether there is evidence, first of all, for some kind of hoax. Brookdale struck me right away as not having the characteristics of overt hoaxing or prankery.
As a skeptic, Joe searches for plausible explanations for odd phenomena. Once a hoax or prank is ruled out, he looks for clues that something normal is being misperceived as paranormal. While Joe leads the skeptical investigation, the team of parapsychologist Lloyd Auerbach and professional psychic Annette Martin have also been called in. They're investigating the haunting from a believer's perspective.
In the field of parapsychology, we look at interactions of the human mind
living or dead, if you want to look at it that way, with other minds, with the environment.
Lloyd uses a magnetometer to measure magnetic fields in the area. Annette Martin is psychically searching for the same magnetic fields.
Everyone has an electromagnetic field around their body, and I have the capability of being able to read that.
Right away, Annette claims she picked up a reading. It was of a young girl.
And I asked her her name, and she was very shy and very demure and didn't want to give me her name, but she said that she liked to be called Katie.
Is this proof that Brookdale Lodge has guests that never check out? When both investigations were complete, the conclusion was yes and no.
There's something out of the ordinary going on here in people's experience and in the environment based on our readings and based on what the people have picked up. And this is warranting a second visit for sure.
I have not seen anything that seems to me evidence of haunting or supernatural activity
What
here.
the heck's going on in the
But I have seen
background?
a correlation between the people who don't believe in ghosts here, who therefore have never seen one, and those who do believe, who do experience ghosts.
Are skeptics like Joe Nickel-Wright? Do ghosts have to be believed in to be seen? Or is the truth something else entirely? We may never know for sure if haunted houses are
Wait,
real.
I don't think I remember this
Skeptics
one.
think that ghosts and hauntings are just ways
Wait.
for believers to explain
What?
their own.
I don't
But for
remember
most
this
people,
one at all.
The truth is a total mystery. One day science may find an explanation, and we'll know for sure.
What
Maybe
the hell?
we're better off not knowing.
What the hell? I have no memory of what then. Which one was the episode that covered the story of that woman, whose spirit constantly walks her path right down to where she was struck by a car? Oh my god, I don't. I think I have this. I think I confused this one with another one. Huh. Hmm. Well then, that's all for today, everyone. I'm Brian Croy Dragon signing out. Stay straight